What is going on, everyone? My name is Joe Reynolds of LowKickMMA. Today, joining me is Madsen, who fights just tomorrow. A couple more hours or a day away from the fight. How are you feeling, buddy?
I feel great. I just came back from the UFC Apex where I did the weigh-ins. I hit the scale on 155 championship weight. So I feel great. I'm rehydrating, I'm drinking, I'm eating. Unfortunately, my opponent, Grant Dawson, didn't make weight. And I don't know if it's a new trend in the whole MMA community, UFC community, but we just experienced 5 fighters not making weight on the upcoming event tomorrow. And I think it's insane.
Yeah, and it does appear that he's lost 30% of his purse for missing weight. But do you feel as though 30%, with how many people are missing weight at the moment, that's enough? Do you think it should be increased, or what's your thoughts in terms of the whole people missing weight in the 30% cut?
So let me start by saying I'm pissed that Grant Dawson did not make weight. I just came from the office where I signed the deal giving me 30% of Grant Dawson's fight fee. Now, being a 3-time Olympian, I remember I come from wrestling background. Being a wrestler, I've had more than 3,000 wrestling matches. I have never missed weight once, not once. The wrestling mindset is you either make weight or you don't compete. I would rather have given up the 30% and seen Grant Dawson make weight tomorrow. The official weight is now 158, so he came in 3 pounds over, the weight. If we take the 1 pound allowance, I think it's disrespectful to everybody. It's disrespectful to me as a fighter. It's disrespectful towards the promotion, the UFC. It's, you owe it to yourself as an athlete, as a fighter, a guy that respects your own craft, to show up. First fight is always making weight. If you're not making weight, in my opinion, you shouldn't be allowed to compete. Like I said this before. I said it when Charles Oliveira didn't make weight. I said it very loud and clear. I don't think he deserves to be the UFC champ if he's not making weight. Now, we don't know the circumstances. There was something about the weight. There were things going on that we don't know for sure. But the fact is, if you don't make weight, especially as a UFC champ, who are setting, everything, they're the people where everybody's looking up to. If you are not making weight as a UFC champ, you don't deserve being a UFC champ. And I think the UFC should really consider having a system like USADA. The USADA system is you have to be able to do a test, and they have to be able to catch you. I think it's 24 hours actually that they have to be able to show up. If you miss 3 times, you're out. It's a suspension. I do believe the UFC should consider having a similar system. If you miss weight once, you'll get a warning. If you miss it twice, you'll get a warning. 3rd time, you're out of the promotion. We can't have people showing up, taking short fight notice like Grant Dawson did. I respect that, but then might be calculating, saying, okay, I'm not making weight. And then just give up 30% and then go out there and compete, especially on an event like tomorrow. Tomorrow we're fighting earlier. I'm fighting 4 p.m., which is a lot earlier than when I fought last time down in Jacksonville. So time is of the essence. Making weight like I did, I have to rehydrate fast. Grant Dawson, he's ahead because he hasn't made weight. Like I got the call. So this is the story. This is why I'm pissed. I got the call 5 a.m. this morning from a person inside the MMA community saying Grant Dawson is not going to be able to make weight. This is 5 a.m. We have the official weigh-in 9 a.m. and you're allowed to make the weight all the way up until 11 a.m. But the guy just quit. He decided not to make weight. He didn't try to make weight today. It's pissing me off. I mean, we can't have this in a professional promotion like UFC. We can't have it. It's that simple.
100%. And when you are a fighter and you've got opponents missing weight, and you've had pretty much everything that could sort of go wrong leading up to a fight go wrong, with the changing of opponents, people missing weight. In terms of going into a fight, does it cause any extra stress, or are you still able to just stay focused on the goal ahead for yourself tomorrow?
So I can talk to my feelings and my opinion about Grant Dawson not making weight and still be able to stay focused. I mean, this is my craft. I've been wrestling since I was 6 years old. I've competed at the European Championship, the Worlds, the Olympics. I know how to stay composed. I know how to stay focused and go in and compete. So yes, I am able to stay present and be able to drink and not stress about it. But it's very, very important for me to be able to share my opinion on this subject. And I think it's a longer talk, but if we take a promotion like the UFC, I don't have the exact budget, but I can tell you from experience being a fighter, the UFC is putting a lot of money, a lot of effort into making sure that the fighters are actually making weight. There's no way you're not going to make weight if you follow the plan the UFC is providing. They're giving you icon meals 6 weeks ahead of the fight. Everything is calculated. The macros are right. You have a nutritionist on speed dial right here on WhatsApp that you can call. They're providing food the whole fight week. There's no way you're not going to make weight if you follow the plan. If you're being professional, you will be on weight. Now, if you go out and order food outside, if you start drinking beers, if you start drinking sodas, you're not going to make weight. But then again, if you can't make weight, you shouldn't be a professional fighter. You shouldn't be in the UFC. It's that simple.
100%. And looking past that a little bit, in terms of the opponent, obviously Drakkar Klose, he pulled out and getting Grant Dawson. It seemed a more exciting fighter. It's completely different, and he's up there as well, undefeated in the UFC. So in terms of getting the opponent change, it's almost as though getting that opponent and getting that win, it means you can propel in your journey in the UFC a bit quicker than maybe with Drakkar Klose. But in terms of getting this opponent, do you feel as though this is a much better matchup in terms for you, or were you just interested in getting anyone in there?
I'm going to go out there. I'm not going to put a clinic on Grant Dawson tomorrow. I don't care if I'm fighting Drakkar Klose or Grant Dawson. I'm aware that it's two completely different fighters. I'm aware that I have to take certain things into account. We've had a short time to prepare for Grant Dawson, especially compared to all the work that we put into the fight against Drakkar Klose. I'm excited to get out there tomorrow and compete. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. I mean, Grant Dawson, undefeated in the UFC. Marco Madsen, the Olympian, undefeated in the UFC. Somebody's going to lose the O tomorrow, and I don't believe it's going to be me. So I'm excited about the matchup. I will say this, Drakkar Klose, don't get too comfortable because I'm still coming for you. You're not getting away. That is still a fight that I want.
Yeah, and then we take a look in terms of obviously the face-offs today. I believe when you did finally get to face-off, it looked as though you're having a conversation. Was there anything exchanged between yourself and him, or was you just merely seeing him at the face and seeing what his body language was saying?
I looked him in the face and I told him with the voice that I had left, this is another thing. When I'm cutting weight, I'm losing my voice. That explains the whisper that you saw on the Dana White IG that he put up. I looked him in the face. I told him, I have more than 3,000 wrestling matches. I never missed weight once. And he said, understood. And then I told him, you have to be professional. And then he said, understood. That was the word that was exchanged. And I do think he listened to it. I do hope so, because we need to have fighters stop missing weight. It's that simple.
Yeah, and then just going into one of the last few things for me, in terms of the fight, obviously it's still going to be, I'm sure, an exciting fight to see tomorrow, an exciting performance. But in terms of what the fight fans can expect to see tomorrow, if they don't already know what they can expect to see, what does that look like from yourself?
It's going to be an amazing fight against two great wrestlers, two great grapplers. It's a fight that could take place on the ground, on the cage, or it could turn out to be a striking fight. We honestly, we don't know. What we know is it's undefeated versus undefeated. Probably a fight that's going to propel the winner up into top 15. So a lot at stake. Great matchup. It's a great way to kick off a main event. So fans should, dial in. It's going to be 4 p.m. in the US. All the fans back home in Denmark, make sure to tune in 12 p.m. That's where the Olympian is going to action.
100%. Well, that is everything from myself. As always, it's great to speak to you and appreciate your time very much. Big thank you to Vegas Insider as well for signing out the interview. But if you just want to take a chance, shiny sponsors, teammates, anything like that, obviously just feel free to go ahead, buddy.
So many people that I love to thank, Santino, DeFranco, Eddie Cha. I have my training partner, Ray Waters, future UFC champ here with me. Shout out to them for the training, being here and supporting me, and for the guy in the crowd that I'm not supposed to mention. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate everything. I love you, man. And for all the fans back home in Denmark, I appreciate your support so much. It means a lot to me and my family that we can feel the warmth and the support. Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you very much. That's everything from myself. Do be sure to tune in, as Mark said. You never want to miss a fight that involves the name Marco Madsen. As always, appreciate it very much. Thank you very much, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.